by tradition.
Hold
And that
tight.
is hold tight, the 3-point collectors.
Next thing, Tottenham are whipping boys for Liverpool. You lot ain't beat us in how long? So look at your face. So when I
I'm about to roll.
they forget about when the council is going to take the fridge.
Oh, for real? When there was a little car park out front. Let's talk about sex, baby.
Let's hold
Liverpool. And as much as we can talk about Mane is a good player, Salah's a good player, they're just not the X factor, bro. Don't forget about it.
Alright, boom. Welcome back to another episode of Stoppage Time TV or Stoppage Time News. We're live in the flesh, live and direct in effect. You already know what time it is. Happy New Year and welcome to our first broadcast of the new year. As you can see, it's my boy Maiwa. I'm joined by my co-host, Culture Cams. Fuad is not with us because he's ill.
COVID.
Fuad is not with us because of COVID.
Tell him
He'll be
the
back
truth.
soon. You know what? It's actually important that we highlight that because he needs to
Important,
beat
right.
the Christmas allegations that Salah. We don't want him to think that he's not around because he's celebrating festive period. You know how it is out there. They're very particular about that stuff. So obviously, Fuad's away because of that. But Happy New Year. Obviously, we're away for a little bit, but we're back now. You already know what time it is. There's a lot to get into. As you can see, we've got Nigerian kits, AFCON's coming.
Yeah.
When you see the former attire, it means we've got some things to address. I've got the paperwork here. Let's not beat around the bush, man. Show is brought to you by Manscaped.
Make sure you press
Like, share, subscribe. In fact, stop now. If you've not subscribed, subscribe. Whilst you stopped and you pause this, open another tab. Go to Instagram, follow that. Go to the personals and follow those as well. You know what to do. Listen, we had a great year last year, but let's make this one even bigger and better one. So, boy, let's go into it. Where to start? The match or pre-match?
It's got to be pre-match, innit?
It's got to be pre-match, innit? It's got to be pre-match, innit?
Surely, I mean, that's you lot's. That's you lot's drama, you lot's situation.
Boy, listen,
that's what you got the case
let me
notes
flick
for.
through my case notes. If I look at
Wait a second. When did you get your ears pierced?
like 2 years ago.
Hey,
I'm trying to be like,
man, rolling in with the earring, you know.
I'm trying to be like, I'm trying to be
Man said you got
like,
your ears pierced.
I'm
you
trying to
know?
be like,
Hey, fuck no.
let's
That's
go
how you
into
know you
it.
don't live with mum no more, fam.
You are dumb.
You know,
I've not been living at home for like,
household and that you're allowed to get your ear pierced.
I don't know, we ain't been living at home for ages, bro.
Listen, me, Rowdy Rebel, fam. Rowdy Rebel, fam. Do my thing.
Move out what, Lukaku, yeah?
Bro, I get my pierced. Hey, it don't matter about me.
Listen, let's get into it. So, for those who don't know, I've been living under a rock. Lukaku did an interview and he said a lot of stuff. He said a lot of stuff. But I don't want to go too far because I think a lot of stuff interlinks in it, and it'll be good to hear your perspective, especially because Lukaku's played for your club. You highlight a few things. I feel like you feel sort of, a sense of I told you so with what you're seeing as well. So we'll get into your perspective. But let's start with the interview. So my main thing still stands that I don't mind any footballer talking. I think it's refreshing to see footballers talk. I think it's great. I think that it's great that we see these, it's not just on the pitch and, kick ball. We can actually see these people say what's on their mind. I think where the issue for me personally is there's two parts. There's talking and then there's talking. I think he over-egged it a little bit. I think he said too much. And what makes it worse is the people he went to go and speak to as well. And before people start getting anal and these comment section, all this, I'm not saying you should come and speak to us. All I'm saying is when you're saying certain things about yourself and everything, you have to be in an environment where you can control the narrative. I say that to say this. This interview happened apparently a couple of weeks ago. It came out just before New Year's, going into New Year's from Sky. That tells you everything they need to know. They've basically weaponized this interview. They're leaking it like it's the Panama Papers each day, giving us quotes and everything. And the quotes that are coming out based on the actual interview, when you watch it, not that it's tweaked, but they're giving you a very condensed version of what he's saying. And words without, words on paper without context in the interview a lot of times can look very, very mad. So that's where I think he definitely went wrong. One, he said too much, and two, it was the wrong thing. In terms of what happened about him being dropped, I think that's the right decision. But that opens up another conversation about where Chelsea are.
But how long does he stay out of the team?
Well, this is what I'm saying.
That's the thing.
Do you want to go into that conversation now? Or do you want to clear up the Lukaku thing?
Yeah, go on.
Because with that, where Chelsea are is, you mentioned something a few weeks ago, and I don't think you realised, you said, I think it might have been new production where you said, did Chelsea win the Champions League too early? And when you look at Chelsea, the answer is, we probably did. You've got a manager that comes in. If you look at 2021, right, Lampard gets sacked, right? Last year, right?
Yeah.
Lampard got sacked. Get a new manager. You have players that are not performing. You get new systems in. You've got players that were not performing before, start performing. Next, you know, you're in Champions League. You're the best team in the world. You want to push on to do more. You want to go and chase City. We talk about chasing City. I over-egged it. I thought, yeah, we can compete. The last time we got to near City's points tally was 93 with Conte. Apart from that, it's been 60s, 70s. We've not been anywhere near in terms of the last few years. So to now go from, because we won Champions League, to go to that would have taken a lot. That's where Lukaku is supposed to come in, right, and deliver. And that's why some of his comments are a bit fair, because he wants to be the main man. But, I
mean, it's still got to be. I mean, look,
it's gradual.
I like
Things are gradual.
I like the fact that Lukaku's speaking his mind. Yeah. That's cool. Listen, if more footballers could do that, that would be great. So lit. But there's got to be balance. Bro, you can't get signed for 100 million. Yeah, 100 million this team put it, or 96 million or whatever.
Whatever they call it, yeah.
You done the whole look who's back, who's back, or whatever it was, yeah. Lock who's back, or that hashtag, hashtag that was going around. He done all that unfinished business. He played Rock Nation. He's doing the Rock Nation thing. They play, my name is Hove, H to the Hovey. They did all of that type of stuff, yeah. To then turn around, 3 months later or whatever it is, when it's not going well for you, to be like, oh, I missed out. I want to, pretty much saying I want to go back, because yes, he didn't say with his direct mouth, I want to leave in Chelsea right now. But for him to say, I want to go back to Chelsea, no, I want to go back to Inter in the prime of my career. You just signed a 5-year deal with Chelsea. You're basically saying, I want to leave before honouring my contract. Because Lukaku, let me tell you for free, Lukaku's not going to be a good player when he's 33. I'll tell you that now. So
no, but do you know what? There's two things here. Yeah? Just to play on that point, devil's advocate, when they're saying go back and think. If you look back to when he was at Inter, one of the big battles he had was, remember when they played AC and it was him and Ibra going at it and they were shouting at each other. How old is Zlatan?
Zlatan's like 50.
Zlatan's a big man, still in Italy, still in, doing things in Italy. So he's thinking, what, if this old man's doing it, I can go back and still do that. So again, I'm not even trying to buy him anything with that, but wherein again, he's just over-egged it. And this is why it's good to have good people. Like, more footballers need to have people that understand stuff in their camp.
But I heard that he called the interview himself.
This is what I'm saying.
He had something to get off his chest.
No, but this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. He had to get that off his chest, bro, this is what I'm saying. There's two things here. There's one, there's the whole thing, because in that interview, he actually says, the way I left and everything was so quick and everything, I didn't get time to address it in the fans. That's fair. That's cool. I understand that. It's like, you might leave a job or something, you don't get to your buys and everything. You choose this as the moment. But he over-egged it. It's like, those ultras don't care what you've got to say. What's done is done. He pandered too much of those fans.
Inter ain't calling for him back
exactly.
either, bro.
And in pandering for those fans, in pandering for those fans, he sacrificed the position he was in with Chelsea, based on everything you said about the Lukaku's back and everything. When he was at United, didn't he train in the Anderlecht top one time when he was
when he left, leaked the bleep test results.
Yeah. So he's got a tendency of, doing stuff.
He's just moving mad.
And the thing is, that's fine. But with anything in life, as you lay your bed, you lie in it. If you walk the walk, you got to talk the talk. Any action has a action that happens afterwards. Yeah. You do that, the manager says, you know what, I don't want you in the squad. You do that, you then have to go and pop the numbers if you want to get back in the squad. That's as simple as it is. Because if you look at what he says, I'm not comparing the two in any way, shape or form, because if any other player did this as well, it's going to look away. The context of what he's actually saying in an interview, Harry Kane came out and was saying the price that Tottenham should sell him for. Do you get where I'm coming from? Everything what happened, Conte comes in, play, goals now, no one worries about it anymore. It's football. Football fans, they change opinions every 2 weeks.
Yeah, but it's the
position of where we are right now.
Harry Kane, everyone feels like, mate, you need to leave.
Yeah.
He's given his all to Chelsea. To Spurs. I can't compare it to what Lukaku. And the thing is, I'm seeing people do this whole, oh, when it was Harry Kane, when it was this person, when it was that person, trying to kind of push the fact that like Lukaku's black and all that. Let's not do that. No. Let's not do that, because when Harry Kane did his, everyone knows it got to a point where it's like Harry Kane should be fed up. The guy is putting up flipping Lewandowski numbers for Spurs and winning nothing. He's not even touched the trophy in his whole career. Lukaku just signs for Chelsea, does that. Listen, at the end of the day, the interview was embarrassing. He shouldn't have done that interview. And as you said, he could have had as you said, he should have been advised better. I cannot compare this. I cannot put this to no racial diss or why is the media focusing so much on this and let's not try and do all of that. What he did was wrong. He just signed for Chelsea. They just put everything in. They sold Tammy Abraham, brought him in. They done everything to make sure this guy can succeed, and he's for me, he's running from the grind, bro. He's running from the grind. That's how I see it. He's running from the grind, bro.
What makes this all sort of like funny to me though is it's like, again,
because he mentioned Tuchel's formation.
Yeah.
Now you're running from. That's when I'm saying you're running from the grind, bro. You're running from the. You're talking about your manager's formation.
For me, there's two ways. For me, there's two ways to see that. I'm not even cutting him any slack, because at the end of the day, if any other player did this as well, you'd say the same thing. My whole thing is, if you're going to come out and talk, make sure that you're eloquent in what you're saying, because if people can pick faults in it and be like, but bro, you didn't hold up your end of the bargain. Like if this interview came at this guy, they've done him in there. This came at the worst time for him.
Bro, you don't know, because like we've done interviews, bro. A lot of people have done interviews, and you say, when's it gonna drop? They'll say,
no, but bro, that's what I'm saying.
Lukaku could have engineered this so it can drop during the transfer window, bro. It's the transfer window that's open today. So How do we know he didn't do that intentionally? He could have known. We can't say that the engineering thing. He sat there, he called it, he said everything he needs to say.
That is a very good point in the sense of this. So you know the statement before the game where they said that he spoke to, is it Tim Howard or something?
Yeah, I mean, I'll see after Monday.
It's hot right now.
It's hot. Moving like Bobby Schmeider or something, bruv. Flipping out, fam.
So if he is trying to maneuver something, the question you have to ask is, what exactly are you trying to maneuver? You got bought for how much more? Do you think they're going to cut their losses like that? I've seen Shevchenko suffer. I've seen Torres suffer. You're not going to get just like that.
This is what I'm saying. This is why I don't get what he did. I don't get it, because, bro, like I don't know how he thinks he's going to maneuver his way out of Chelsea, because I don't think Inter are going to put up another 90 plus for him, because at this point, has his value dropped? No, you can't really say his value's dropped. So Chelsea, so Inter would need to sign him pretty much for the same amount of money that they sold him for, which the reason they sold him is because they haven't got money. They brought in, was it Dzeko for how much?
Was it free?
Might have even been free.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Lukaku is going to do. How he's talking about, I could have went Man City last summer. Like, why are you mentioning all of this?
The thing is,
I'm
not mad at him mentioning it. It's like there's two sides to this. I'm not mad at footballers being real. At the same time, someone said, I can't remember, it's like, so some people don't even say this when they retire. Do you get what I'm coming on? You wait till you retire to be like, you know what? I had a bid from.
I'm sorry, but you gotta be doing the business. That's what I'm saying. You gotta be doing the business. If you're gonna talk the talk, the walk has to, like, it has to be there. And especially, and that's what I'm saying. This came at the worst. They dropped at the worst time for him, because he's come off of two decent performances. They're not performances you go, oh my god, Lukaku, you saved us. Scored a header from a set.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like wow. And even like people will say that, oh, but when Hazard was at Chelsea, Hazard was flirting with Madrid and everything. The difference is, Hazard didn't go out and say bare stuff. Yeah, it was flirting. It was, even when he was about to leave, he was like, you know what? I think it wasn't. He didn't open his yash too much, and he was putting up performances. When Hazard left Chelsea, the numbers he put up in that season were out of this world. Like, all
right, you go with our blessing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying about Harry Kane.
Similar to the Harry Kane thing, you know. So fair point. But Lukaku just come through the door.
Just come through. I have no issue lighting it up. How many league goals has he got? Like 4?
5. I have no issue with talking. 5 goals. Boy, please, like we need to see your paperwork. So it's a bit precarious for him now. And again, especially when you've got allegations that the team play more fluid football without you.
Where Inter in the league? First.
I know, but I'm saying, you're so dumb.
That's the point. Inter are first. They don't need him. But they're happy without him.
No, but even like
when they sold him, they said, oh, we got Dzeko and he's doing the exact same thing. That's what the CEO said. We sold him and we got Dzeko doing the same thing.
I'm going to what?
What they do in the Champions League with Lukaku?
This guy's
nothing. So what is it? Why would they bring him back? He's blackballed himself.
I'm talking about Chelsea in respect that the allegations were still that Chelsea are playing, like you said, Chelsea are playing fluid football without you. So it's like, you have to kind of be careful when you're doing certain things because it's like, the manager can be like, you know, okay, cool. 2 weeks ago, I said that Tuchel has to decide what he wants to do. If it's Lukaku, the main man, and hedge your bets on him, I'll do it. When you do something like that, it's like, okay, you know what? I won't hedge my bets on you.
But I'm seeing them running offense through Kante.
But do you know what's so... But do you know what's so funny as well?
Offense through
do you know what's so funny as well? Bro. Last year we won the Champions League.
Crazy,
this year, do you know what Tuchel can say? Listen, your £100 million investment you gave me meant AWOL. I can't do anything more than that. I can't get goals from that. We'll go again next year. Give me something to work with. So I actually have to respect how Tuchel's handled this.
Tuchel,
what?
This is a guy that said that he wasn't getting on well with Neymar and Mbappe. Now Lukaku's not feeling you. Can you manage superstars, bro? Can you manage superstars? Let me ask you that. I'm just putting the question out there.
No, in what sense?
I'm just putting the question out there. No, he said, I'd rather coach... It's easier to coach Lukaku than it is to coach Neymar and Mbappe. Homeboy is not even feeling you, fam. He's not even feeling you either. So there's questions to be asked, innit? Before people start crying, that's facts. That's pure facts. So I don't know, man. For me, the thing about this situation is every situation is you can fix every situation.
Yeah.
We've seen Tevez not come off the bench and get banished and still came back with like 6 games to go and have a kind of an impact on them winning the Premier League. We've seen Balotelli have a fight on the training pitch with Mancini, still had an impact to winning the Premier League. You've seen bust up. You've seen Fergie kick the ting in Beckham's face.
And then they're calm.
We still carried on.
He got sold.
Nah, that wasn't the same season that he got sold though. He didn't get sold. He didn't get sold that season. So, and even so, he still contributed. He still played.
But even away from the major ones, if you look recently,
you got to have Lukaku on the pitch. But it cannot end with you guys.
No, he can't be exiled. He can't be exiled.
You have to get him back.
The bigger picture is in recent years. I don't want to go into too deep dive because we've got other stuff to talk about. If you look at Chelsea, I remember you tweeted, you were like, Fergie would have done something and did that. Chelsea in a position where with Tuchel coming in winning Champions League, we might have a manager for the first time properly since Jose Mourinho. It's kind of long term. Anyone since that,
man.
No, I'm saying potentially. That's what the potential is. That's what the potential is. Because obviously you came in 18 months, you done well, we're going to back you for a bit longer. That's what they want to see. With Conte, it didn't happen because what happened, board and everything, player bust up and everything. The board are very powerful at Chelsea and the players, because of how everything changes and the players constantly remain, have a lot of player power. This is going to be very interesting on how it plays out because it's the first time in a long time where we could potentially have a manager that is, you know, one that has the power here. So is he going to go head to head with the players? I've seen him kick Christensen out of his team because he don't want to sign a contract. I've seen him say he doesn't mind the players that are a bit older going if they want big money. So clearly he wants to impose himself on this team. But it will see. We have to see how it plays out because the board say
to do that at Chelsea.
Listen, if Roman says, listen, this Pulisic kid, we've got to sell t-shirts to Morocco. He's got to play minutes. What happens? Same thing with Havertz.
It'll be interesting to see if anything else comes out.
But before I go into this match, I mentioned how if Chelsea won the Champions League too early, I was looking at our dynamic of players. If you look at the signings that people say don't really hit, we bought Ziyech, not really hit, but Ziyech is a bit older. Havertz, Pulisic, still there and everything. They've all won the Champions League. They've all done something at Chelsea without actually doing stuff. You then look at the flip reverse of it. You've got Rudiger, Azpilicueta, and Christensen. 2 of those defenders were, let's put it, media for a long time, did well, won a Champions League. They've achieved the pinnacle in football. They've got low contracts right now. If they ask for big money, they don't get big money, they're going to leave. The Chelsea squad's in a really weird place, and I feel like potentially that Champions League, you're seeing the sort of ambitions or where players are realistically, because you've got players that are like, no, I don't really need to be here. I've won everything I need to. I can go and get money. You've got players that are very young and maybe feel that, you know what, I've achieved stuff here. But it's like, no, bro, you still haven't valued, you haven't cashed in your value of actually delivering here because you won Champions League. So what? We paid 70 mil for you, bro. You're an investment for the future. You've got to be playing. Pulisic, he's been here how many seasons now? Have we seen his
30.
We haven't seen his value for what we've paid for yet. Do you get where I'm coming from? So it's like, it's going to be the next year, this 2022, like the end of the season and the beginning of next season is going to be very interesting because maybe you're right about the Tuchel thing. He needs to impose his own characters here because he's probably looking around thinking that, yeah, we've done well, but I don't know you guys.
But the thing is, that's weird. A lot of money. Like people like Havertz and
that. It is. A lot. And it goes back to the board thing. It goes back to the board thing. So
hold on. If you got Lukaku, 96 million, Havertz 75 million, yeah.
Pulisic 50.
And Pulisic 50. Let's just say them 3 because Ziyech, whatever, older than that. And you're saying that he has to bring in his own attackers. No, so is Roman Abramovich going to sit there and be happy that he's dumping his 200, basically nearly 200 million pound attack for his own players? Let's see.
That's why the manager
he's not getting them firing. Let me tell you that for free. None of Chelsea's attack. And I told you guys. But anyway, we could go on.
That's why the whole manager, board, and player dynamic is so mad, because there's a lot going on there. But let's talk on the game though. 2-2 result. First 45 minutes were
madness.
Prime Barclays.
Yeah, the thing is though, I feel like I saw like people talking about that, they talking about the quality being amazing. I don't even think the quality was that.
It's not about the quality; it's about the energy of the game for me.
Yeah,
like,
it's the energy,
individual quality. It wasn't like. Do you remember that City Liverpool game that was it
in the other day? Yeah, in last month, like 2 months ago.
No, not even that one. There was one. Was it 2 seasons ago?
18-19.
And and we were like, wow, that's an advert for football. It wasn't like high quality. It was just good energy, good vibes, and like a good tussle.
Yeah.
But where do we start? Liverpool, does that count as a Liverpool capitulation? What are you saying?
Not really, because bro, when I looked at the Liverpool team, I said Chelsea have the advantage today because we've always spoke about Liverpool's depth. They've lost a few players today. They're starting their midfield with Henderson, Milner, and Fabinho. Like, as in, like, what is that midfield gonna do? That midfield can't press. That midfield can't even defend.
That's
they
two
can't
of their
pop
best
ball.
three midfielders though.
Who?
That's two of their three starters.
Yeah, and that's why I've always said Liverpool's midfielders meaty. They need like a Thiago or someone out there. Like Alisson, okay, that's obviously a loss. But to be fair to what's that Donny's name? The goalkeeper.
Kelleher.
He did all right. Robbo's missing as well. And at the end of the day, your manager's not there as well on the touchline. I thought Liverpool did as much as they can, as in, come on, Cover scored a screamer at the end of the day. What a goal that is. You can't defend that one. The second goal, you think it was Van Dijk's fault. I think Konate.
I didn't say it's Van Dijk's fault. I said Van Dijk's funny. I said Van Dijk's funny. I didn't say it's his fault.
So I don't think it was that much on Liverpool. It's 2-2 at home. They don't really get that many results at Stamford Bridge as well. They're not that great at Stamford Bridge. So
I have recently.
What, Hendo scored that banger that one time?
I think they beat them 3 times.
Oh yeah, they did on the Lampard. They got that 2-0. Yeah. They got that 2-0. So I just think it was a good game. I think I can't really say anyone bottled it or anything like that. I just think it was a good
title was done though. That game, even if you don't take in that result, you just look at the both teams.
But you might see Jota, yeah.
And then you look at those two teams, and then you think of Man City, and you just go, okay, you know what? It's not even about.
Told you about City though, man.
Thing is,
Man City are gonna win the league easily.
What's funny is, out of nowhere, those two teams maybe could go on a run, but you look at City and you don't see City dropping off to a level that's so bad that everyone's gonna catch up. That's the problem.
Well, the thing
that's the reality.
So, like,
do you know how bad City have to be?
Like, they've already won 11 in a row. And the thing is,
during the busiest period of the season,
as they do every single
busiest period of the season, with COVID and everything going on, managing to play games without making substitutions, so players are fresh for next game. He's clocked England,
bro. Obviously, of course. But the thing is, that's the thing. Like, everyone talks about because this team won the Champions League or because of this or that. City are the best team in the country. It's not close. They're the best. They are the best team in the country. Yeah, simple as that. People think because Chelsea beat them Champions League or Liverpool beat them once upon a time, or they are the best team. The team that is the best in the league, because that shows how good you are consistently. They're about to win 4 out of the 5 Prems.
So blue moon, man. We tried to tell Liverpool fans. They shouted at us.
They didn't win it with
Conte, then they won 3.
So they're about to win 4 out. They're about to win 4 out of 6 Premier Leagues, while sweeping up domestically in the domestic competitions as well. They're the best. And you think about it though, like, everyone talks about the Premier League. The Premier League is in a great league, and I always say, look, the Premier League. People talk about competitiveness. We don't get title races in this country because City just blow away. All right, Liverpool blew away one time, but there's not really title races in this country much. So when people talk about competitive nature, what are you talking about? Are you talking about competitive because the Burnley can beat a rubbish Man United team or whatever like that? Then cool. But that's not really, to say that the Premier League's the best is debatable if you're talking about competitiveness. But if you're talking about toughness, I do think the Premier League is the toughest league, because you don't have to. The reason why these teams are competitive or whatever is because you don't have to be quality, bro, to win in the Premier League. You just got to match these guys physically, legs, energy, intensity. That's all you got to do. In the other countries, you can be whoever you want. Try and do this whole intensity crap. The quality of a team like Barcelona in their primes, Barcelona, Real Madrid and stuff, they'll just play you off the park. It's light, like what Man City are doing. Man City are showing everybody what Real Madrid, Barcelona, and all these guys do in their league. You can try whatever you want. They're still going to sweep and go and win the league. So when people turn around and say, oh, the Premier League is da-da-da, it's not. City are walking this. They're embarrassing this country, bro. They're embarrassing this country. So, physicality is great. That's why Burnleys can turn up and do a madness and all that. But how much quality do you need to win Premier League matches? Not that much, man. In my opinion, not that much.
As in quality, you don't think you need quality?
So many times when you watch Man United play, for example, or Chelsea, if they're going to drop points, something, the team, they outran you, they outworked you, they won their 50-50s. Yeah, that's nice. But how often do you get popped off the park, lose because they were the better team on the ball and that? Rare, man. It's always the battles and the physical tussles
I feel
and that.
like
that's how I see it.
But I think that's more down to...
That's why Sheffield United one season can finish 8th or 9th. Because they outworked everyone for one season, had one game week, but next season they're relegated. What kind of league is this? What kind of league is they outfought everyone for one season?
No, I think it is. I hear the point you're making, but I think it's
not down to quality. Because are you going to say that Sheffield United are a quality team?
No, I think it's an
Leicester get knocked out of Europa just like that.
Just getting bounced out of Europa like it's nothing, bro.
I hear
it's out of quality. It's out of Leicester won the flipping Premier League.
Yeah,
once upon a time.
That's a different cycle. It's a different cycle.
Because why did they win the Premier League? Long balls, energy of Jamie Vardy and that, and they won the Premier League. But it is what it is, isn't it?
So what would you say is in other leagues then?
Other leagues, I think you actually need quality. I actually think you need quality if you're going to be where you need to be. So that's why.
Let's pick one now.
Like so if you're talking about, for example, like
let's talk about
because what is compared?
I'll give you an example.
It depends what you mean as compared. Because
no, I'll give you an example.
People
last season, French league.
Yeah.
PSG didn't win.
Yeah.
Team that did win, good football.
Yeah. Do you see the matches against PSG? They actually gave them a great games, bro. Playing football. Playing football. I mean,
Ilmaz at 37 running the league, you know.
What does competitive mean? Because you look at France, every single season, there's different people finishing in different places. There's different teams competing for the top of the table. So why is the Premier League the most competitive? Because people will look at it and say, oh, Bayern have won it 10 years in a row. PSG have won it this many years in a row. But Liverpool just broke a little cycle of City winning it, 4 years in a row? City could have won it 4 years. No, they could have done a three-peat. Liverpool broke that. Then they went and won again. And now they're about to win it. Is it about to be the win again? Is that going to be the fourth?
That's two doubles.
Two doubles.
In my opinion,
and who's going to stop them next season?
When people say the Premier League is competitive, I don't think it's because of that, like the top teams. I think it's because of this sort of notion that, you know what everyone speaks about, that
some teams
any
in the
team
Premier
that
League
can be any
only
team.
have one win.
Yeah.
This is about to be the lowest Premier League tally of relegation ever.
In a long time, yeah. But it's because of that notion of anyone can beat anyone. Anyone can beat anyone. That's where the notion of most competitive league came from. It's like you see upsets and this sort of stuff.
Yeah, I
think that's where it comes from. And ultimately, I've always said it here, like, and I didn't say it to be anyway, but how many people are actually watching other leagues? Like, if we're being real, how many people are logging on, are getting, what are the name of the apps and that, going to watch other leagues? They're not. They're watching the big games in those leagues, and then they see a team like Elche or Getafe get bounced.
Getafe beat Real Madrid today.
But Getafe are proper. Like, some of these teams are proper and everything. But before, it's like, oh, okay, all of these teams and whatnot. So, I guess, though, if you look at Premier League, the traditional top four has changed, kinda. Like, it changes a lot in
It changes
France.
in France.
It changes in Spain here and there. Teams have their cycles in Spain. I give them that. I think football's the same.
Italy.
Yeah, Italy's changing.
So is Italy mad competitive? It's looking competitive in my opinion at the moment. This is what I'm saying. Like, it's just narratives, isn't it?
Well, again, we always say that the British media machine is the biggest one, so they're always going to push what they want. So maybe it is down to... I hear the point you're making. I wouldn't say that there's not quality, though.
I'm not saying there's no quality in the Premier League.
No.
Of course there's quality.
You're saying that it's...
I'm just saying the reason why it's deemed as so competitive is just because some...
But it's that boxing. Styles make... In my opinion, it's like boxing. Styles make fights, innit? Like, in the Premier League, certain teams have known that, listen, like a Stoke. Remember when Stoke were doing stuff? Stoke analysed, was it Pulis or and said, listen, we can't be like those guys. So we're going to be what we're going to be. And we're going to make everything, we're going to make the grass long. We're going to buy the biggest and strongest players and we're going to do this. It's like certain teams just realize that they haven't got the juice to have quality, which is, you know what, fair play. And if we're being so real, if we look at how football is in this country, the DNA of football in this country, are you going to tell me that the DNA of football in this country is based on quality? It's not.
This is what I'm saying.
It's not based on quality. So it doesn't surprise me if the league is like that.
It's intensity. That's the Prem is the most intense league in the world. Definitely, like, you've got to have legs. You got to have energy. You can't come in. That's why you get people like Havertz. He's not suited to the Prem. Should
I come on your point you're making? Yeah, about why it works for City. Do you know why it works for City?
Because they have like 22 ballers.
Thank you. They have quality in abundance. They may have a smaller squad, but it's quality in abundance. So you know when people say like, "Oh, this player won't work in the league," even though he's quality, he's playing in the team where 9 other guys are intensity. Literally. It's hard to do it yourself. But when you're at sea and everyone's a baller,
it's much
different.
It's
I think that's what the difference is.
Yeah, it's much different. Obviously, City are stacked with it.
Yeah.
So it is a bit.
So what would you say? I know it's slightly off topic because we still need to go and see it in Arsenal because some other stuff. What would you say? Liverpool managed to break that mold. Liverpool, they finished 1 point behind in another season, right? Like they've gotten Liverpool have had they had a good 4-year cycle. So what would you say? Because some people would say that Liverpool are intensity. Some people would say Liverpool are quality. What would you break Liverpool down as?
Yeah, I think they've got quality in some of the right areas, of course.
Yeah.
Mane, Salah, Trent, Robertson, Van Dijk, obviously, Fabinho, Alisson. Then the rest of them is like good pieces, energy, high energy legs and all that type of stuff, right? That's how I see them. Like that's why Liverpool were a really good team, because when it was functioning, the press was intense, everything was right. We can't look at Liverpool and look at City and think Liverpool are the better footballing team. They're not. They were never the better footballing team. I don't care if they won the league by 45 points. They were never the better footballing team. But they were the team that had the best system in terms of using that intensity in the right way, using that energy, using that press. That's what they were. And now people can say, I said last season, I mean, you look at the age of their players, you look at people are saying, oh no, do you know what? One day we'll just sell Mane. Or so I said, wait, how do you know that Mane is going to be valuable enough to just shot him? Remember when they were talking about like Mbappe stuff and all that? It's not gonna be that straightforward. Now you're in a position where you gotta give Salah this max contract, bro. You gotta give him this super max. So if he gets this super max, bro, Liverpool haven't really got many assets to sell. But bro, do you know also they should have kept Ginny, by the way, and let Henderson go. I'm thinking
about more about the comment you made, and it takes me back to the 1 year where Liverpool completely fell off. We talked about intensity, right? The intensity was gone. We spoke about here saying that the press wasn't the same and everything, how they had to adjust. The question that brings me to is, if you're fury about City's right, does that mean that another team cannot dominate in England until they get the same level of quality as City? Number one. Number two, how do you get that when that was done over time and so meticulously by Pep?
No, that's not the case. Like as Klopp showed, this is why no matter what happens, Klopp should. But I saw Jamie Carragher say, like Klopp will be disappointed not to have won more trophies or whatever. Yeah. I understand that, because I've never understood why Klopp throws cup competitions. I don't get that. For me, I don't get that anyway. But in terms of competing, I'm sorry. Just like Arsene Wenger, you did very well, bro, to win 3 trophies while Ferguson was around. Klopp, you did well to win 1 while Pep is around. I'm sorry. He's just a better manager with a better team, better resources. It's hard. Klopp should get his flowers. He's done well. But you're not stopping Man City, bro.
But bro, this is
until
what I'm
Pep leaves, good luck.
No, but bro, this is what I'm saying, because if we, again, when we spoke about takeovers and I said the reason why the City one was better is because everything was meticulous. We're going to get Pep one day. We're going to build anything. Even if we look at down to their spending, they're getting high quality players without spending bare money for them. Like, don't get me wrong. Like if you look at how other clubs spend on individual players and the tallies, they spend a lot of money, but they spent well.
That's the thing. When people talk about money spending, I'm sure over the last couple of years or whatever, Man United have probably spent similar. Chelsea are probably maybe a couple 100 million underneath. We probably spent more, exactly. But look what City go and do. Look at how Pep Guardiola uses these guys. So people can call him a checkbook manager or whatever. That's fine if you want to say that. But how many managers will be able to compile a squad this good and actually utilize them to go and win things? Now, okay, the question's going to be, is he going to win a Champions League and stuff? Listen, the best teams don't always win the Champions League. It's not always the best that win the Champions League. Chelsea won the Champions League last year. You weren't the best team. You're not the best team, clearly. Liverpool have won the Champions League. Porto have won the Champions League. There's teams that win Champions League. You're not always the best. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't have to win it. There's still the impetus on him to have to go there and win it. But you can't use it to discredit that much on what he's done at Man City.
Your league will always be your mark of consistency. Like, it's a long campaign. Like, especially when you're winning 10, 11 games on the bounce, that shows. I feel like the level of greatness is to be able to sort of go and do that. But again, we can see, like, with City, if they were to win it, it's like, okay, we've done it. With Chelsea, it's like, I was thinking about production when we had that conversation about this Chelsea team is completely different. The last one, it was like, listen, we've been so close so many times. Players, like real lieutenants in the team, won it. Okay, it's a crowning moment. This Champions League is supposed to push us forward, but it's a weird space now where you got half your backline leaving.
What it does is it's just led to people maybe elevating where they thought Chelsea are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because even in the league last year, when you won the Champions League, you guys weren't that great.
No, we finished the league badly.
This is what I'm saying.
We got through to Roma. We thought we won't get Champions League football.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So maybe
we lost to Villa, right?
Yeah, maybe the level that people thought Chelsea at, maybe we're a bit blinded.
Is that because the Champions League is so prestigious though? Do you see?
Yeah, that's because the Champions League is seen as so prestigious and stuff. So
question though, is it because City are so good? Because Chelsea, if you look at the table, they're same level as Liverpool, and Liverpool are one of the best teams in Europe. They're top 5, and Chelsea are on par with Liverpool.
I just don't think that. But I mean,
do you know what the issue is for me? Sorry, bro.
League football quality has gone down, innit? In my opinion.
No, but I'm just saying.
My thing's never
Liverpool.
When you talk about the Liverpool thing, sometimes you have to listen to when people speak. Tuchel's always saying that we're at the beginning of our journey. It's just that we won the Champions League in phase 1. And like, don't get me wrong, I was one of the people who were saying that, listen, if the defense thing is pattern and you get a goal scorer, 1 + 1 = 2. But he's actually said, listen, we're at the beginning of our journey. Same thing Klopp said when he came in. He said, listen, this is year 1. By the time we get to year 3 and year 4, you can assess where we're going. And that's why I brought the point out earlier about saying this might be potentially a long-term manager. Does that actually work at Chelsea? With the whole needing to win and everything straight away? Questionable, because I asked you, production, Chelsea, well, maybe Chelsea fan. I asked this question. If Chelsea in a position where we won the Champions League last year, but this year we don't win a league, we win maybe 1 cup and finish top 4, is that seen as a regression compared to last season? In the board's eyes?
No. I think with the board, I think it's more next season. I think, like you said, I think winning the Champions League has given him money in the bank because fans want him here. The players, because look like they wanted him here, like they played for him today. And because he hasn't spent their money, a lot of their money to sign players, I think he's going to have that leverage of like, look, let me sign my guys. And he's going to get that, especially because there's not a lot of quality managers in Europe anyway. If Chelsea are going to look, let's get rid of him. Because they will look at it as he's competing with Liverpool in year 1, basically.
But this ain't even Liverpool at their
peak of the powers.
This is Liverpool where you're kind of saying, okay, Firmino's not as good as he was. Mane is not as good as he was.
They're limping.
You're kind of looking at the midfield need restructuring. So I do get what you're saying, but being that close to Liverpool isn't as much praise as you think it is.
It's not.
He said to the board. And how his job will be perceived to the board, I don't think they'll be looking at him thinking, you haven't done what we want. If you win a cup,
I don't know if
and go top 4. It doesn't even get.
Bro, I've seen Chelsea.
Listen. The thing is, in my head,
I can't put nothing past that team.
No, but the thing is, I don't think anything will happen. All I'll say is, if you look at it as like on paper, Roma will pick up. You'll look in the case notes and be like, year 1, Champions League, fantastic. Objectives for year 2, Premier League cups, 3rd place, Carabao. It's like, you know the little arrow, The praise might look a bit funny.
I think they'll give him one more.
No, he'll be fine. I'm just saying that the board is the board, innit? They are the thing. But perfect segue.
How they treat the Lukaku situation, if they
will tell us everything we need to know.
Perfect.
But I want to segue into a manager that has kind of shifted power away from the board, and he's managed to ride many waves. And right now, he's on a jet ski. Word to sleep, but it's the jet ski wave, bro. He's waving. How many times they thought his numbers were done? Bro, he's still here. Mikel Arteta. I've seen some of the discourse from the Arsenal fans saying that the world class team lost to a very good side against City. It was a good performance by them. It was one of the best performances I've seen by them. It was invigorating. Anything that anyone said right now, if you're looking at what Arteta's done with Arsenal, you can say that, you know what, you have to actually believe the plan is going to. And let's take it back. When Eddie was there doing fraud and making big signings and everything, that was the doing of the board. All of that type of stuff.
What was that Donny's name? What was that Indian guy's name? No, the Indian one.
Vinay. Vinay Vichai? He's still...
That's the Leicester guy.
No.
That's the guy.
Yeah. What was the guy's name, bruv?
I think it's Vinay. Is it Vinay?
Nah, man. The guy that appointed Don Raul, fam. Oh, somebody will find that, I'm sure. They'll know. They'll know in the comments.
I think it's.
Wait, who is it?
Yeah, it's Vinay.
Is it?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah, that's his name, Vinay.
Oh,
Yeah, it was him. Yeah. So obviously that happened, and then post that, you've got Arteta identifying players he wants, bringing players in, and then there was a few rough patches. Weeding out players that he doesn't want, pleading with people saying that, listen, trust in what I want to do. If we're gonna call a spade, it's a C grade Pep. What does Pep do when he goes to places? Trust what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy these players. I'm going to put this person in this position. I don't like what you're doing. I'm going to take you out of the squad. You're going to have an adjustment period. I'm not saying it's anything alike. I'm not, but it's very similar to someone who's like his mentor. And like, you can't fault what they're doing right now. They are in a very, very good position. The performances are getting better. I'm seeing players that are supposed to be big players finally step up to the thing. I'm seeing, their young players carry their team. I still think it's a lot for those young players to do, but they're still doing it. I'm seeing players being utilised in the best way to help them. Smith Rowe's been great. He's found this new sort of role, come off the bench and do something for me. Like, they're actually working really, really well, which is credit to him. Like, he's done it. Like, he's actually worked proper hard.
With the young players, the thing is, your young players are doing well. They're carrying the club.
There's going to be dips in form naturally.
There's going to be purple patches. There's going to be dips. The one thing I would say is that the way he handled the Aubameyang situation was good. Because the first time he dropped him, cool, whatever. Everyone knew why. He said why. The second time it's happened again, whatever. And he's just come out, doesn't want to talk about it. Well, he mentioned it, but it's like, listen, that's it. I don't want to hear about it. They keep trying to ask him questions. He won't give the answers.
Well done for Abba not doing an interview on that though.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair to him, man, like, Arsenal need someone, because we always talk about they ain't got leaders on the pitch. But they need a leader somewhere. And Arteta is definitely a leader for them. Now, some of the games that they've gone through, on paper, you should say they should be, maybe they should be winning them games.
But what I would say to that though is, for me, it's always important to look at where a team's coming from. They should be beating them, but this is a same Arsenal that we're saying that they're not a top 6 side anymore. Arsenal are very much in transition, which is why you keep saying trust my process and trust what I'm trying to do for us. Yes, they should be beating those teams, but that wasn't a given last season. It wasn't given the season before. When Arsenal Fan TV we've got bare people complaining that they're not beating these teams. You get me? And if we're going back to the whole thing about Premier League being competitive and that what everyone's saying, every team should be able to beat every team. So beating teams is not a given in this league.
Thing is,
City do it, but it's not a given. Arsenal I think they are the second informed team in the Premier League behind City.
Yeah.
And maybe Spurs, because Spurs are only winning and drawing.
So I think he's done, like, at this point in
time, as we speak on that now,
Arsenal should probably give him another summer, because at the end of the day, he's in a top 4 fight right now. A lot of fans at the start of the season, when they saw their signings, when they saw it, they were saying, "Oh, maybe top 6." He could still end up 6th. You never really know, but he's battling the top 4 right now. You look at his signings. He signed Gabriel, right? He signed Ben White. He signed Tomiyasu. He signed Ramsdale.
Odegaard.
He signed Odegaard. Like, Partey, okay, the jury might be out for him at the moment, but you look at the majority of his signings, you can say at that level that Arsenal are playing at are hits. So that is the best indication of giving a manager time for me. It's how their signings done and what they're doing, obviously, and in their competitions. And they're battling top 4, and not all of them, but 80% of his signings have been hits at that level. So, who? Carabao Cup semi-final. So, to be honest, he deserves another summer, because he has, at least, you look at what he's done with the defense.
Yeah,
that defense looks like with the goalkeeper, we've always said that a foundation to build off. Yeah. Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, White, Gabriel, Tierney. At least every single week, that's the back 5, and that's what you need. Foundation. And then now, let's see what he does going forward, because you think about the 3 behind the striker. So the jury might be out for Lacazette, people might be whatever, but the 3 young players, he's given them the confidence to just go and do whatever. ESR was in the form of his life, brought him out, said, nah, I need Odegaard because he's probably the better one to link it.
But when I bring ESR's you on,
coming off the bench and you know what I mean, hitting daggers. So you know what I'm trying to say? It's you got to give, for me, my whole thing is you got to give credit where it's due, and he's done very well now, and especially because they haven't got the European football. For me, it's about the development from here. Like, this is a great time because you haven't got European football. You can focus on one target. But people are saying that, one thing, just to dispel that, Arsenal haven't had an advantage over anyone
No, because of everything.
February.
Exactly.
That's when it'll really kick in.
Exactly.
So.
And with all of that as well, what is interesting is, what is the long-term vision of what he wants Arsenal to be? Is it I want Arsenal competing for titles in 5 years? Is it I want Arsenal to be comfortably a top 4 team and anything? Because that then changes how I view it, because who he brings in, what that person is expected to do. The best thing you can say about him is now they're performing in such a way that they can actually attract good talent.
But the thing is, the reason why for me, Arsenal are in a weird position is because let's say they do finish in the top 4.
Yeah.
I don't think that team is good enough to be a Champions League team. It's bare weird. Like, I don't think that team is good enough to be a Champions League team. So the board would have to massively back him. But at the same time, they are doing just what they need to do to capitalize on United being poor.
Yep.
Spurs are both sacked to manager this season. So they're capitalizing on that. It's the same way I see West Ham. Like? I'm not saying that Arsenal probably doing, but if West Ham got into the Champions League, Leicester, they wouldn't have been good enough.
No, but it's exactly what happened to Leicester.
See Arsenal, and when you're talking about like developing the team, the issue that Arteta has now is that they've got fan favorites in ESR, Martinelli,
how do you drop those guys?
Maybe Odegaard. The fans are starting to warm to him since they've stopped crying about Maddison. When you've got those 4, they're fan favorites, and obviously you ain't got striker. I've been in the same position, and Chelsea might have been in a similar position as well, where we had Rashford, Martial, and young players that you think, maybe you can lead us to glory, but the team have to look at it and be like, nah, but we need to sign a Zlatan, we need to sign a Lukaku, and then some start fading away. They don't hit as much as they did. Same thing with Chelsea. You man were doing your thing in
remember the whole Mason Mount thing,
the Lampard season,
and
then Lampard said, "What? Boom." Signed the whole world, and then you know what I mean. Now some guys got sold, so it's really gonna be Arteta has to get his next few signings spot on, because they're gonna upset a few fan favorites, bro.
Listen, being a manager is not an easy, especially right now. You know, when they were talking about the whole COVID thing and everything, like when you deep what managers have to deal with right now, it's not easy, man. Because at the end of the day, fans just want results. Fans don't care about what this player's not around and it might affect the training and whatnot. Fam, go out and win. It's hard being a manager, so that's why I have to give credit to when teams are making it work. Like even like teams that people thought Brentford were going to be relegated, somehow they're still managing to score mad goals, do stuff. I'm seeing Vista score bangers. Like you have to give credit to certain people for making it happen. Still,
in a relegation, people say competitive.
Listen, I wanted to touch on this AFCON stuff as well. We've still got a bit of time. So where to start? Let's start with Watford. Because
I don't really know what's going on with that, so I'm not even gonna say too much. I'll let you go with that.
So there's 2 sides to this.
Morality hype.
You're dumb.
Hey, I need to know what morality versus reality.
You're done.
I know what it means.
What does
Basically,
that mean,
long story short, Watford allegedly are not letting Dennis go to AFCON.
And so.
And now it's come out that they're not letting Sarr. Sarr's been injured, but apparently they're not letting him go. Sarr was announcing the team, Dennis was announcing the team. The reason why it's techie is because on the Dennis one, there was this whole thing about Nigeria sending the paperwork late, so we're not going to release him. With the Sarr one, I don't know what happened there, but he was announcing the squad and everything. Now, devil's advocate, if you're Watford and you're in a relegation battle and you've got 2 of your players that are potentially going to keep you up, because those 2 guys scoring goals to them, and we know that you need goal scorers. All the teams around them don't have goal scorers. You need those guys. If you get relegated, how much does it cost you? 100 to 200 million and everything and whatnot. As a business owner at Watford, do you let those guys go to AFCON?
But what's all this do you let stuff? Why have they got the power to like let man go? Like, ain't it a thing that you should just be able to go when your country call you? I'm confused.
I think it's a bit techie, because I remember when Portsmouth stopped Yakubu going to AFCON. It's happened because it's in season. You know how these people can get into people's ears and stuff. The reason why the Dennis one is techie is because people are trying to say that he didn't want to go. But it's like, he's still been called up though. He can go. So it's weird. I understand the Watford thing. I do. That's a lot of M's at stake. This guy's got to save me. I need him. But when players get called up for international break, you knew it was coming. This guy's one of the informed players in Europe on paper.
But then, all right. So then what does this show to the rest of Europe or the rest of football? So Watford, for example, can say, okay, we don't want my man to go.
Yeah.
So what? Liverpool turn around tomorrow and say, whew, led by only Diogo Jota.
Yeah.
Nah, I need Salah immediately.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
you know what I mean? So is that going to be the case? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I saw the.
So what,
I saw article. I saw article.
You know what I'm saying? So what? Are they gonna call out?
Man said Flam in the plane afterwards, no quarantine.
Yeah, I'm saying, are they gonna? How does it work?
I saw an article.
Teams can just start
I
now saying.
I literally article was saying, if Watford are trying to do this, should we stop Salah Mane going to
This is what I'm
AFCON?
saying,
And
it
mad.
just creates a
mad.
disrespect for the tournament.
100%. It is a disrespected tournament. It is a very, very disrespected tournament, and I think a lot of that comes through sort of just the way African football is perceived, the fact that, you know, the rights and everything, you can't even view African football.
Yeah, I think they've got it now.
Sky have got it, but in general, like
in general,
even there, all it is just Premier League stuff and everything.
Yeah.
But it is sad that, like, because the whole conversation is it wouldn't happen if it's the Euros and stuff. It never would. It never would. Which is true. I think the bigger issue though is this. If I would love to see AFCON in summer and see if they still try to go wicked and bad about it.
The thing is,
it's not in thing, innit?
Yeah, but the thing is, I just don't agree with the whole somebody cannot.
You shouldn't be able to withhold people from the national nation.
Euros injured.
Yeah.
Could Man United have just said, no, you're not going? Like, do
on
you get
paper,
from? Like, yeah, I'm saying he went to the Euros injured.
This is pure speculation.
Rooney went to the World Cup injured.
What metatarsal? We haven't seen they've came up with the metatarsal. They've come up with the paperwork stuff, innit? We haven't seen the ins and outs. If there's administrative errors, then listen, it's up in the air. But if you're literally saying that, because it's AFCON, you can't let players go, that's some bullshit. That is bullshit.
I hope Watford. Whenever the AFCON, I hope Watford lose every match until then, bro. Listen.
That's
all I'm gonna say.
But do you know what's so mad as well? Yeah, like they let the Nigerian centre back. They let Ekong go.
They've lost 6 in a row anyway. Let go and play, fam. Why you want to play for a losing team like that anyway?
They let Ekong go. And the thing is,
fam.
Do you know what for the duds? Yeah, my duds of the week. Yeah. Do you know how many African players they've got? Like at least.
So what? Ekong went.
They've got at least.
Watford.
They've got at least 9 African players. So you knew this was gonna happen, but you want to be wicked and bad.
I don't get
who's
that.
the problem? Let me play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Why are the players, if they really want to go, why are they not releasing statements and being brave enough like Lukaku to go and say, I'm African, I'm Senegalese, I'm Nigerian, I want to play for Nigeria, I want to go. Instead of making the federation look weak, like they're begging for the player. Why don't you come say, Watford are not letting me go to AFCON?
Free me.
It's the truth, because at the end of the day,
the only player I've heard is Haller. Haller's the only person I've heard speak when he was like, no one should disrespect like this.
But I get what the thing is, I get what production is saying, because at the end of the day, now all it does is leave everything up in the air. The player doesn't speak. The player goes and plays. It leaves everything up in the air. It's like, was it Nigeria who lacked, or Senegal, or whatever, or is it Watford being bad mind? You don't really know. If the player just came out and said it, then cool, then you will get the answers. So I definitely agree with that. But then it comes down to, maybe it does come down to, does Dennis even want to go?
Well, there was this whole speculation that he doesn't want it based on like previous efforts and stuff. But again, do you know why it's so like? One time
Dennis
he was
done for Nigeria, bro.
No, as in like that's what I'm saying. Like when he turned up for camps, he was moving wicked and bad and everything.
Is it?
And then the only thing you see from him is the tweet saying, "I'm happy to go." There's so much that is unknown. But again, if a player comes out and speaks their mind in a controlled way, not saying everything like Lukaku, we would have so much clarity.
Yeah, just let us, because if you
just let us know,
about representing your country, and you want to put up tweets saying I love my country, can you let us know
what's going on?
Want to go, or they're not letting you go? You can say in respect for say I want to.
I want to go, but Watford not let me go. And you won't get punished for that because you're saying the truth.
Telling the truth. And then if they're not going to play you, then it defeats the whole purpose. They should have let you go.
Yeah. Do you know what it is? You see in life, tell the truth within reason. You see what Lukaku did? It was a bit too much. He could have said, "I miss Inter. Things are tough at Chelsea, but I'll make it work." Simple, one sentence. He went to go and open his yash. They said that because his babes left him, he was moving wicked and bad. But listen, it is what it is. Champs and duds of the week.
Babes left him.
Champs and duds of the week.
I don't even know, I ain't really been paying attention.
Swear.
Let me see. It's been a hectic little period, you know what I mean?
Man, am I saying Ralph should get dud, you know?
Ralph? What for? He ain't lost the game yet.
United fans are a bit angry at him. Why are they angry at him for?
Bro, United fans are impatient, man. United fans.
What's your thoughts on it? Because obviously, your tweets and how you feel, I feel like they're sometimes very different. You've been saying a lot of "we're playing tomorrow, don't bother watching us," or nothing's gonna change. Like, how do you feel going into this game? Like, what's going on? Talk to me.
I mean, I think it's gonna be a boring game tomorrow. If you're talking about the Wolves game, yeah, that's going to be boring. But if you're talking about, you know what, yeah, it's time for people just look, the Man United players, they're just not that good. And just as simple as that. They're just not as good as people maybe thought they were. Simple. Because Oli signed a lot of these players. I think Oli signed 13 players. Mate, you can't. I'm struggling to find a hit amongst them 13. So, cool. He's assembled this squad, whatever. He had to go for it. Ralph comes in. He's trying to do his thing. These players act like they've never played football before. They can't string 3, 4, 5 passes together. Now people are talking about Ralph as well. How about you just accept that your players just weren't overrated? That's all it is. Me, I overrated some of them. Fans definitely overrated the majority of them. So it's got to accept that they're not that good, bro. Then that's just how I see it, man. Their players are not that
really
good.
Really quickly. We can go into more detail about another time, but we always talk about coaching, the need for coaching and everything. United-wise, very briefly, Rashford. So obviously his form's not been great. I saw this thing about him and Welbeck scoring the same amount of goals in the calendar year last year. And Rashford's gone from a position of carrying United literally on his back, breaking his back for United, to being in a situation where it's just looking out of sorts. You look at someone like a young talent like Greenwood, all the ability in the world. You look at the situation United are in. As a United fan, looking on at what's happened to Rashford and Greenwood within this sort of space, how are you feeling?
Bro, when Oli was there, I was saying I'm worried for Greenwood going forward. Like, listen, the next manager that we get has to be a coach. We have to know what we're gonna get, obviously, but I can't really predict what's gonna happen. But you've seen first of all, Greenwood's way more talented than Rashford, of course. But the situation with Rashford, obviously, everyone was saying, don't play your way through injuries and that. Like, don't die for this club, yeah? He did it, whatever. People gonna say it's potentially injuries or whatever. But for me, I always said, like, as much as Oli was annoying and stuff, he was, for me, a beneficiary. Like, Rashford and Bruno were beneficiaries under Oli. He let them do what they want. You can see on the pitch, they think they're gods on the pitch, when they're nowhere near it. Both of them have barely won anything in their career. They don't deserve how they're running around. You know what I mean? And you've got a manager that comes in that doesn't have to prioritize these guys, and they're looking lost out there. So these two, Rashford especially, well, you can say Rashford especially, he's got a lot of work to do, bro, because going forward, United ain't got time to wait for someone like this. He can easily go from being a Ronaldo trajectory to a Nani trajectory to homeboy. You might not even be making the grade, bro. So he's under a lot of pressure at the moment because, mate, you can't be going around the pitch throwing your arms in the air and doing what you do. I always said the reason why I rate Rashford is because in terms of his mentality is that even if he's playing poor, he still tries. But there comes a point where it's like, bro, we need the quality. We need the quality, and he's just. And
then what about the Greenwood perspective because of time? Like,
yeah, Greenwood is the same thing. Let's see who our next manager is going to be. Greenwood started the season on fire. For me, he's a number 9. He's playing out on the right, whatever. He started the season on fire in the number 9. Ronaldo come in. The thing about Ronaldo is that most of the time when Ronaldo plays, he's gonna score all these goals. You're gonna see the stats say Ronaldo has scored 55% of his team's goals or whatever. That's great because Ronaldo would do his thing. But what does it mean for the others? For someone like Greenwood, that's harmed him a little bit. Bruno as well started the season good, hat-trick at Leeds and that. Anyone, a blind man can see Ronaldo and Bruno, that wasn't going to work, bro. That wasn't going to work. So, listen, with Ronaldo scoring all the goals, we're battling for top 4. With all the goals shared out, we're battling for top 4. So it doesn't really matter, really.
So pick your poison.
It doesn't really matter. Just pick your poison. Yeah, I mean, get a new manager in.
Hey, go on.
My champs and duds of the week.
Go on.
My champs.
I was going to say my champ is Lukaku, my dud is Lukaku.
Let me start my champs. Kovacic is one of my champs.
Bang on.
Corne is one of my champs.
Amazing free kick.
Donny at Brighton.
McAllister.
One of my champs.
McAllister.
Some bangers this week.
St. Maximin's one of my champs.
St. Maximin.
But he danced on Man United. But
I forgot about that game.
Hey, Joe Linton, oh my word.
Hey, Joe, media champ.
Bro, people come to United and have their career night, bro. I'm telling you. 59 points.
Drewsbury Hall, last performance.
And my dad, Lukaku.
Yeah. I was going to give, because he had a really good December, Saka's beating allegations
Saka's
still.
one of my champs as well.
Saka's beating allegations still.
He's got good goal the other day as well.
Referees are my dads as well.
Oh.
So many decisions don't make sense.
Yeah,
you know, that was good still.
I'll say, Lukaku's got to be.
He's champion.
Lukaku's got to be the dad.
What do you reckon his favourite film is?
You got to give Man City champs as well. What you say?
Lukaku looks like he loves a paid in full, innit? He looks like he loves a paid in full.
Right, I'll say champs. You got to give City, man. 11 in a row. Yeah. Calendar year, most wins in a calendar year ever in the Premier League. So you got to give them.
I'll say Pep. I'll say as well. Probably give Pep one as well. Like you said, he's becoming box office. Bro, it's been loading for a while, but there's certain things that, you know, he enjoys being the media villain, the media sweet at the same time. Like I see him when he was giving the interview, he's like, I didn't see the replay because I had a shower, I changed my jumper. I said, this guy, he's finding his sort of, you know, I'm the icon sort of thing. So I respect him as well.
And I got to give duds to Liverpool fans for saying Van Dijk was the best centre back ever as well. Sorry.
Man said Frankie Dettori, you know, jockey hype. Boy, Ascot, bruv.
Best defender ever. Now that is the definition of reactionary. And now they're trying to reduce it to, but peak wise, okay, well, you should have said that at the time, innit? Should have said peak. He's not the best centre back ever.
But do you know how Liverpool fans are funny? Yeah, you know when they've got something wrong, they do things like, hey yo, have you noticed Van Dijk's performance lately? No, be louder. Like I want to hear you. Don't whisper. Be louder. Yes, Van Dijk. What's going on? Don't blame the injury.
The worst thing is, my ratings of Van Dijk has actually gone up this season than when he was in his peak, because I respect how he's come back from an ACL injury. Yeah. But just relax. He's not the best centre back ever. Ruben Diaz has gone to Man City and pretty much doing what Van Dijk's done.
Oh, actually, I'm so sorry.
He's getting rings on his head, innit?
Rodri, you get a champ of the week.
Oh yeah, because shithousery. No, because
he
went into the
he went into the home fans.
That was cold. Still, that was cold. That's
I gotta give him that.
I
gotta give him a champ for that. But listen, that's another episode. Happy New Year! Remember, like, share, subscribe. Wish Fuad to get better soon. Let us know if there's anything you want us to discuss.
Make sure you like.
AFCON. We'll be touching on some AFCON stuff inevitably because it'll be going on. European.
We've got duty too.
Real talk. European.
Black pod hype.
European. Man said diaspora hype. Shatawale hype. Obviously, European football's coming back, so Dos Locas.
Yeah.
Coming back soon as well, February. So keep tuned. And make sure you rock with us this year. We're out.